This is Sky News at 2, the top stories. In the last half an hour, Catalonia's sacked president has called on Catalans to peacefully oppose Spain's formal takeover of the region. But in the Spanish capital, people have been marching in support of the central government's hardline approach. In the UK, the Environment Secretary Michael Gove apologises after making a joke about sexual assaults. All of the Royal Navy's submarine crews are to get drugs tested after 9 servicemen on a nuclear submarine are sacked after testing positive. The outgoing head of one of the biggest NHS trusts tells Sky News the health service is facing the toughest money crisis in its history.
In sport, Anthony Joshua defends his world heavyweight titles against Carlos Takam in Cardiff. And in the Premier League, Manchester United and Tottenham pushed for a winner at Old Trafford to keep the pressure on Manchester City.
Very good afternoon to you. In a message released in the last half an hour, the disputed president of Catalonia has called on people in the region to peacefully oppose Spain's formal takeover. He was speaking for the first time after the government in Madrid took direct control of Catalonia, sacking him and dissolving the region's parliament after its declaration of independence yesterday. Now, Europe correspondent Michelle Clifford is in Barcelona for us. And Michelle, where exactly do things go from here?
Well, his statement called for peaceful opposition to the imposition of direct rule from Madrid, but in appearing in the way he did, he made his position very clear. I am still the president of Catalonia. He condemned Madrid for intervening to take over or attempt to take over the government and to push out the leaders here. He said that it was in direct contrast to the will of the citizens, and he used the phrase of our country. So clearly, in his opinion, using the phrase our country, he is saying that the Declaration of Independence means that there is separation from Spain. He's called for people to be calm, as I say, to peacefully defend what was declared in the Parliament yesterday. He said, we will reiterate the line without violence. He also said, we'll respect the opinions of those who protest against the opinions of the Catalan Parliament, so against the Declaration of Independence. He said we have to have democratic opposition to Article 155. That's the part of the Constitution that allows Madrid to impose direct rule. But he very much was appearing as the Catalan leader, doggedly sticking to his position that we are going to oppose the attempt to take over the government. It isn't even an attempt, it has happened. In the early hours of the morning, the legislation came into place, and effectively now, Carlos Puigdemont has been replaced by the Deputy Prime Minister of Spain. The Catalan government is no more in the eyes of the law, certainly in the eyes of the Madrid government, but in the eyes of the Catalan leader himself, nothing has changed. He asked for people to galvanise, but he stressed do it peacefully. So I suppose we're no further advanced. What's interesting is it was a pre-recorded message. Initially, rumours had gone around that he was going to appear in the building behind me, the Catalan government headquarters, where he's been holed up for much of the last couple of weeks. He makes many of his appearances from there, but the message was pre-recorded, we understand, in Girona, where he lives. I wonder whether he didn't come back here because government ministers, other members of the government, were told not to return to their offices. There was even a suggestion that if they did, they could be arrested, and his arrest is still a real possibility. We understand that the public prosecutor is preparing papers to take to the Supreme Court in Madrid on Monday. The possible charges they're looking at are sedition, rebellion and misuse of public funds. And they're not just levelling those accusations at Carlos Puigdemont, but many who are involved in the illegal referendum, as it was deemed by Madrid, and also the Declaration of Independence. So there is still the prospect that he will be arrested, and that raises again real fears of civil unrest in Catalonia. There are still questions about whether the Catalan police, the Mossos, will be obedient to Madrid. Certainly the Mossos today has put out a message on Twitter saying that we are going to act normally, we're working normally to protect the civilians of Catalonia. But if we have a scenario which many have warned will happen, where there's an attempt to arrest Carlos Puigdemont, other members of the government, go into government buildings, then many separatists have said that they will mobilise, they'll come out in their thousands, they'll surround the buildings. They say they're not afraid of arrest, they're not afraid of imprisonment. So we could have the potential for clashes between Catalonian citizens and the Catalan police. It is going to be extremely difficult. The message coming from Catalonia today, coming from Carles Puigdemont, is I am still the president, I am still the leader of what he called our country.
Michelle, thank you. The Environment Secretary is facing a barrage of criticism this afternoon after his attempt at humour backfired. Michael Gove has now apologised unreservedly after making a quip about the Harvey Weinstein scandal in a radio interview this morning.